morning, Daily Echo Friday. Fantastic Friday, January 23rd. I'm going to sort of rehash a point that we've made a number of times on the Daily Echo. I was listening to a recording this morning where they talked about the amount of TV that is watched by employees on the bottom of the company, and it moves its way all the way through the managerial, all the way up to the CEO of the company. And as you would probably suspect, the CEO watches the least amount of TV by quite a bit. And most of the TV that the CEO is watching is educational materials that he uses for the company itself. As we move to the lowest position in that company, we see television watched 30 to 40 hours a week. And it seems like a lot, but some people, when you start to break down how much TV you're watching a week, 3-4 hours a night, you come home from work, you sit down and you end up 3 hours. The night's done, you're watching 20 hours a week. Some people 4 hours, 28 hours. So we want to watch how much time we're spending in front of the TV. The great thing about life is that it doesn't matter where we sit in the totem pole of business world, if we're on the top or the bottom, each and every one of us have 24 hours a day. So we can complain about why somebody has where they are in their position and why we're not. But the reality is that they've taken that 24 hours a day over a period of time, and they've decided to improve themselves, to get themselves in a position to be where they're at. Each and every one of us can do the same thing. It may not happen tomorrow. We've got to make a commitment to go 6 months, a year, 6 years, 7 years, 10 years. Heck, it may take 20 years. But start to look at the things that you can eliminate in your life and start to utilize that time period to grow and develop talents and skills. The last thing I want to talk about again is we talk about Automobile University. Each and every one of us spend quite a bit of time every day probably in our cars going to work, going to school with commutes. That can add up sometimes to 10 plus hours a week and more for some people. What are you listening to in the car? Are you allowing the radio to just dictate whatever they want to, the trash that goes on through there every day? Are you listening to the news all the time, just negative, negative, negative? Put something in there positive. You can read 2 to 3 books a month or listen to them if you decided to listen to audiobooks on the way. You'll be amazed at the amount of information that you get. Garbage in, garbage out. We hear that all of the time. So start to look at the things that you're doing in your life. Cut the TV out. A lot of it just does not do much for us. There's a lot of reports that show the negative impact that it has upon us emotionally and mentally. So look forward to spending next week trying to just cut an hour here and there and start to replace that with positive things that are going to allow you to grow and develop more in your life. Have a fantastic Friday. We'll be coming at you again tomorrow on Super Saturday. As always, thanks for taking time to watch The Echo.